What's up everyone, Wally the Robot here, and today we were playing Thresh in the bot lane in a ranked game. Now, Sivir is my duo, Nishtroyer. He is a talented artist, so I'm going to drop his link to his Instagram, so if you guys like art, go check him out. But in this game, I'm going to go over how you can generate pressure in ways that you don't think is possible. And some people don't think about this as well. So my question to you is, how would you generate lane pressure? Or what is the ideal way? Well, the ideal way to generate lane pressure is to land your hooks and then poke them down and consistently snowball from there, right? Well, there are also alternative methods, such as if I walk up and throw my hook, I'm going to do it deliberately towards the fiddlesticks and the Kai'Sa. And what that's going to do is condition the enemies into thinking, hey, if he's walking up, he's about to throw his hook. So we need to back up. We don't need to get hooked. If we get hooked, there's a high chance that we're going to either take too much damage and lose a fight, or we are going to die. And I accomplished that in this game. And you'll see how they start reacting here in a little bit. Like, Kai'Sa's still putting a little bit of pressure back towards us. But every time the Fiddlesticks walks up, I throw my hook at the Fiddlesticks. I don't want to throw my hook towards a wall unless I'm trying to pinch them. I don't want to throw my hook towards a minion and hook a minion, because that would be putting me at a disadvantage. Matter of fact, it's a huge disadvantage. If I were to hook a minion, the Fiddlesticks and the Kai'Sa could both collapse on me, and they could definitely pick up a kill on me if that were to happen. But I'm avoiding the minions as much as possible. The Kai'Sa doesn't respect us, so that's why she exhausted Sivir. And that's also why she ended up dying. So now they understand that, hey, if Thresh is going to walk up, he's going to throw a hook. So we're going to respect that. We know that they can burst us down pretty quick from full health, and we don't want to feed the enemies. So me missing hooks still generates pressure in that sense of, if I'm walking up and I land a hook and Sivir's around, we get a free kill. And because of that, that generates that pressure, and I really don't have to do anything else at that point. Because what that allows us to do at now is essentially we're going to push a wave, and it's going to go into the turret, and then we can leave our lane to go assist our allies and any other lane that they need help in. Another thing to note is that I will stand by that Thresh's bread and butter is you flash flay. If you flash towards an enemy and you just tap flay, the flay is automatically going to throw the enemies back towards your turret or your side of the map. After that, do not throw your hook immediately. 9 times out of 10, Kai'Sa or Fiddlesticks, I'm just using them too as an example, they will have their flash up. So if you try to throw your flash immediately and they flash away, you just put your hook on cooldown. So if you do what I did, where you wait a second and you try to see the path that they're going to take and throw the hook then, you have a higher chance of landing the hook at that point, and you're able to secure a kill from there. So we make our way mid, because we saw that Caitlyn was going to try to poke down the Yi, but I think because of her warding that bush, or Jarvan warding that bush, she was able to back off pretty quick. So what we try to do here is push for turret. I want to slow down the Jarvan as much as possible. I don't want my ADC to die or my mid laner to die. So I would risk that death anytime, every day, just so that way those guys could, survive and put damage out. My job is to take one for the team and to stall, essentially. That's what I'm trying to do. That's what I'm trying to accomplish in these games when I play Thresh. I want to generate pressure whether I'm landing hooks or not, and I want to essentially make sure that my allies stay alive and I'm the one that dies. That's my game plan. Unfortunately here, I'm unable to save the Sivir. The burst damage from Fiddle ult is just too much. Even if I would have hooked Fiddles while he ulted, Sivir still would have died because his ult would still be active. So what I do here is I want to push the lane. I want to make sure Sivir does not get as much CS and try to mitigate how much CS she gets from this. So I push this pretty quick, and I want, like I said, I'm trying to make sure that Sivir can't do anything. Here you'll see me make a mistake. I throw my hook in the wrong spot, and I'm unable to get it, and I'm spamming my ult, and it's still on cooldown. If it was 1 second sooner, I think we would have picked up the kill on Fiddlesticks. And now we just go for the turret, and I then try to make a play on the Kai'Sa. She flashes away for my flay, and I die here. But I'm okay with this death, and there's a reason for that. The reason why I'm happy about that death is because if her W would have landed on Yi, she could have waited till drag was low enough, ult in, hit Q, and stolen drag, and potentially picked up a kill on the Yi. Now, I don't know if she would have lived afterwards, but it's just a possibility, and objectives are pretty important. Here, I noticed that I'll have my next item within a few seconds, so I decided to wait. Another thing to note is I want to point this out. With this game, since it's a little bit faster paced, understanding when to stay for an item and when not to, I would say roughly about when you have 30 gold left, you just may as well wait for the item instead of going to lane, then recalling for the item. If you have 50 gold left though, that's kind of a different story, because a lot can happen within, I think it's 15 seconds it takes for you to get 50 gold if you're just waiting at fountain. I think 15 or 20 seconds. So a good example is, like, let's say if you have to wait 50 gold and your turret's that low, as low as we got Kai'Sa's, and you still have both enemies at that turret, you may as well just wait for the 50 gold, because once they take that turret, they're going to either do one of two things, and that's going to continue to push the lane, or they're going to recall. Either way is good for you to just wait that 50 gold out at that point. Now, it'd be different if you have a full health tower and you have 50 gold, or have to wait 50 gold. The reason being is because you may as well go back to lane and get them off the tower, so that way they don't get the turret plating if the plating's still up, and or be able to push the wave back just ever so slightly, so that way they don't do additional damage, because that 1 HP could make or break that one fight, if you know what I mean by that. Here, the Jarvan, I don't know why Jarvan's targeting me, but I prefer that anyways, especially when I'm playing a tank like Thresh. I'd rather me be the target than Sivir, or any ADC that I'm duoed with in the bot lane. And the reason being is because if I'm the target, then that means my ADC has a chance to get away. And that's really the bottom line. But I think the Jarvan had a vendetta against me or something, because I noticed that earlier when we went for mid turret, he came for me instead of anyone else. I think it would have been smarter if he went for the Lux or for Sivir, but no, he came for me. And then he ulted me, so that made me start thinking, if I'm going to be the target of the Thresh, or not Thresh, of the Jarvan, then that's going to give me and my team an advantage. And honestly, we take that advantage and we ride with it. We ride with it hard in this game. So now, since me and Sivir are here, we can actually go make a play, and Lux shows up as well, and I do a flash hook and it lands. Jarvan ults me again, and this is what I was talking about earlier, why I don't understand why Jarvan has a vendetta against me when he could clearly most likely get a kill off the Sivir or the Lux. Well, it'd be harder to get the Lux at this point, because Lux stun and then, or Lux snare, and then her, I think it's her E and then ult. Yeah, her E and then ult would be detrimental, but considering the fact that you're in an enclosed area in close range, I believe Jarvan could, you know, out poke her, out damage her. And then here, another good example for Thresh is a lot of players like to underestimate Thresh, especially if they're low elo like me. I'm only in plat, I'm plat 3. But a lot of players underestimate Thresh pretty hard, and you'll see here what I'm talking about. So I play, I hook, I lantern myself, and I back off, and then I go back in with my proto belt. And the reason being I back off is because if I were to be standing on top of Caitlyn and I were to use it, all of the missiles that launch from the proto belt would miss. It would just miss. So always make sure you want to have that little bit of insurance or security, or that warm fuzzy feeling in your stomach that, like, hey, this is going to land, versus I'm on top of him, it's going to hit, she's going to flash away. Don't worry about that, because you got to remember the proto belt will also extend out a certain distance. Here I do a weird pathing because I was thinking that they're going to start dragging earlier, but I also noticed that the enemies were showing up. I missed my hook just barely, but keeping them off of dragon is the goal. And again, Jarvan's going for me. I have no idea why. I don't know if he was just a enter. I don't know if he was trying to assist us. The more I think about it, the more it doesn't make sense to me why he would go for me, especially when you have a Sivir there. Unless Sivir's, her ability where she can cancel or take no damage from an ability is also a cancel on Jarvan's ult because it's targeted to her. I don't know. So, but now at this point in the game, I want to kind of get back to the team. I also want to try to save Lux because I know Caitlyn's chasing Lux. So I throw my lantern out, but Lux refused. I try to throw a hook and land on Jarvan to make a play with Lux, but I miss. But Jarvan decides to go back in and attack me, and I don't know why. I could have also taken that kill, but I didn't. And the reason being is because I don't need the kill, and I know that me and Lux are safe. If anyone else would have walked up, I would have thrown the hook at them. Now, I was just fooling around right there. I advise against that, especially when you just lost your AC like I did. And here, you could cut through river to cut off the fiddlesticks, but the thing about it is, if you were to do that, the fiddles would have run through my top jungle, and then you would be on a wild goose chase at that point. So it's better just to follow at that point and, you know, be able to cut them off, because you're still putting yourself in range for a potential hook. Here, Caitlyn dies, and what my goal is now is that since I recognize that Gnosis is top, I want to go and stop him from 1, backing, and 2, pushing, whichever one comes first. So I noticed that he's starting to recall. I try to stay hidden. He must have caught it just a glance, like a little glance of me. And I don't know what he was trying to do here, running through the bushes like that. He should have just ran at me and slowed me. But I don't know why they decide to run in front of me. In all honesty, if you see a Thresh running at you, you kind of want to run the opposite direction, and that direction is to your base. Because, I mean, on the off chance that, I mean, if you don't know where your enemies are at, and you see a Thresh run at you, 9 times out of 10, there's probably going to be some allies behind him. So, just a word of advice: if you see a Thresh running at you, run the opposite direction. Unless you know for a fact that you have your allies there backing you up. Don't try to go for a solo kill on Thresh, because it's not going to work, especially mid to late game. It's going to not be worth your time. And I accomplished my goal so we can pick up Baron. Now, the next thing I want to do is try to go for this Kai'Sa, but I thought we had enough time, or I had enough time to stop her from backing. Unfortunately, I do not accomplish that. So the goal now is for me to push with Sivir in the side lane, and that way we can take top turret and potentially end the game at this point. I don't think the game actually ends at this point. No, the game ends in about 4 minutes, if I'm not mistaken. It's already been, I think, 2 hours since that game. I have 2 more videos I'm going to be uploading today as well, so be on the lookout for those. Here, I know I can tank the turret shots, and that's why I pressure the Gnosis. And yeah, so here's where we actually end the game. It's getting pretty close. So I want to stop this Susan or Gnosis well, I haven't said that name in a long time, from continuing to engage. The Fiddlesticks, he kind of tried to make a play, but it didn't work out. Of course, I want to flash on top of him, or not on top of him, but next to him. I want to make sure I secure the kills so the rest of my team can end the game. And I mean, that's that. So if you enjoyed the video, drop a like down below, leave a comment, and I'll see you guys in the next one here shortly. So peace.